What's up YouTube? We're back here with another video of my 2014 RSV4R, and today what we're going to be doing is removing the gas tank and installing a Domino quick turn throttle. So let's get into it. There's two 5mm bolts underneath the seat, which I've already taken off. They'll be right back here. Once you get this off, you'll have two 4mm bolts here, which I've also removed already. And then the spacer can just stay in for now, but there's two 4mm bolts there. And then there's two side panels, which I already have taken off too, and there's three bolts. One here, here, and here. And they're a 3mm here, and I believe a 4mm here. Once you get these both taken off, there's one bolt left right here in the front of the gas tank, and it's a 5mm bolt. Once you remove that, you'll then have access to be able to pull the gas tank back. And now when you do this, you want to make sure you have very little gas or no gas in your tank, because it's going to make it easier to obviously take off, and you won't have the hassle of spilling gas everywhere. You're going to have two vent lines you're going to want to take off. One here, and then obviously the quick connect right here for the fuel delivery. Now if you have gas, you're going to want to make sure when you take this apart you have something to catch the gas in. I still have a little bit of gas in it, so what we're going to do here is take this off, this line off on this side of the bike, and then get something to catch the gas in. Alright, once you get the gas removed, you can tilt back, and then there's one wire here that you need to unclip, and then you can pull out this a little bit. Be careful, like I said, because it's kind of tight against the ABS. And then you're going to have another one on the back side right here you're going to want to unclip for the Bosch. And then there you go. The bike should come out, gas tank should come out nice and easily. Like I said, if you still might have a little bit of residue gas in there, but that's okay. Make sure you put some towels down so you don't get anything on the floor. So now that we have the gas tank off and we have access to the air box, we need to remove the air box to get underneath of it to remove the throttle cables and the throttle assembly, so we can install the new Domino quick turn kit. So what you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver, and there are 8 Phillips heads around the top of the air box, 2 on each side, and then one quick connect right here for fuel line. Once you remove those, you can pull back on this. Make sure you have a rag or something so you can keep fuel and dirt out of the fuel line. You're going to get access to the stacks. You might have velocity stacks. I do not, because I don't have a factory. There are next going to be, each stack's going to have 2 4mm Allen bolts that you're going to need to remove so you can take off the bottom of the air box. Alright, now that we have the stacks removed, what you're going to want to do is put them off to the side, make sure they're organized, left with left, right with right, so you don't get them mixed up. Next you're going to do is there are a sensor right here and a sensor on this side, but you're going to want to remove. There's 2 Phillips head screws you want to remove, and then there is a line on this side, vent line on this side, and a vent line on this side you're also going to remove. And then you should be able to just pull up on it, the air box, and out it comes. And then once you get this out, make sure, very important, that you get some kind of rags or towels or whatever and kind of stick down into the throttle bodies so you don't get any crud and dirt or anything else like that down in there. Alright guys, sorry about that. After looking into it a little bit more, you don't actually need to do any of this, but it is good that we did do this, because I am going to be upgrading to the 2016 RSV4RF airbox in the coming weeks anyway. But actually, the cables run down behind the left mid fairing. I don't know if you can actually see them, but down into there. So that's going to make things a hell of a lot easier for us. So what you're going to need to do is remove this Allen bolt there's an Allen bolt up here, this one right here, and then a push pin underneath as well. So we'll go ahead and get into that real quick. All right, guys. So once you have the middle fairing off, you're gonna have access to the demand sensor. I've already gone ahead and removed the bolts and everything like that, but you're gonna have this bracket on the sensor here. Let me give you some light. On the sensor here, you're gonna have to remove this one and this one, which is gonna allow you to pull this off, and then you're gonna have 4 Phillips head screws right here for the bracket, and it's gonna allow you to kind of move this around a little bit and give you access to this back door right here. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but you kind of want to push them little tabs in right there on both sides, and it's going to give you access to the cables themselves right there. And then that's going to allow you right here to remove the cables and to pull it up out, which we're going to do right now, and I'll show you once I'm done. All right, guys, we're back. So once you have this access plate off, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure on this side, like I said, I already took it out, but on this side there's 3 Torx bolts that you're going to want to undo. 1, 2, and 3 on this side. And then there are also adjustment nuts here too. You want to loosen these up and pop those out from underneath, so you can kind of like get some wiggle room and push them this way so you can get them out from underneath. Once you get all that done, there is a Phillips head screw that holds on this little I don't know what you want to call it, like tie down or whatever. You're going to want to untie that because the cables run right through this, and you're going to want to take that off, get some needle nose pliers, and kind of like pry that away and pull one cable out at a time. Now when you do this, you're going to want to be careful, take your time, and you don't want to break anything. And it also helps to, if you have the tank off and the air box off, so you can get your hands down in there and kind of like help feed it along as well. And then once you get over there, there is up underneath the bike right there, I don't know if you guys can see that, it kind of sits in like a little crevice, both the throttle cables. You kind of want to pull them out so you can kind of pull them up through, and then once you get that out, you can kind of just work your way up out and pull the cables out. Now like I said, you really want to take your time. You don't want to break anything. It is a little time consuming if you've never done it before, but once you get them out, they are out. Alright, so once you get the cables out, you'll have your new set of cables here. You're kind of just going to want to do the opposite and feed them back through one by one and kind of reinstall it in reverse order. So we'll get to that, and then once I get everything feeded down through, I'll show you putting it back together and go from there. Alright guys, once you get the cables fed back through, you can go ahead and put it back together in reverse order. Also, don't forget this rubber grommet here, like I did the first time, and it'll seal up real nice and good. Make sure you put the cables back exactly the way they go. Really, red's going to be the outer facing one, and then the one without the red's going to be the inner facing one. And then once you get all that done, you put up there, and then we can actually go to the top and work with the actual throttle itself. Alright, so once you guys get the cables all ran through and up here, now you can go ahead and put the actual throttle assembly on itself. I've already gone ahead and done this because it's a pain in the butt to do by yourself, but what you want to do is slide on the assembly and put the 2 cables through the back plate. Now when you do this, let me try and show you something here. So there'll be, you can either have the the red, the green, or this one, the white one inside on the throttle assembly.
I chose the red because it has it's more progressive, so it slowly ramps up and then goes to full throttle. But it'll be inside here, and then you have both cables in. And what I did is I stuck the top cable. It's for the actual the pull for the actual acceleration in first, in this a slot similar to this. And then what I had to do was hold the back plate together and kind of twist the throttle to bring this kind of around like this, so I could get the bottom cable up and around. And once you get that, I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot easier with 2 people. So if you do have somebody else, I highly recommend having them help you. But once you get all that done, you can kind of use these 2 supplied flathead screws, put the front plate on. And what I would do is there as well is just kind of get it not snug, but on there enough that you can kind of move this around a little bit, this whole assembly, because you want to make sure your bottom cable will clear your front brake. Now I have a different front brake lever, so your positioning might be a little different than mine, but right there is good enough for me, and it doesn't hit. And then after you get all that done, you can tighten this down so everything's out of the way. Tighten this down, it locks down on itself. I would highly recommend putting some Loctite on these after you're done. I'm not, because I might have to adjust a little bit more, because once you kind of test where it's at, you want to take a 10 mil and an 8 mil wrench and loosen these up and kind of play with the adjustment screws to a point where you really see I don't really have much throttle play until it starts to catch. And that's kind of what you want. Like, these bikes factory have a decent amount of throttle play, and then literally it's just that's literally full throttle. And that's the whole idea behind this, is just, quick turn throttle, so I don't have to, your wrist is not like this while you're full throttle, or you don't have to reposition your hand like way up and then crank down on it. And literally you could just go and you're full throttle, which is really nice in my opinion. Once you get to these to where you're fine with and you're adjusted, tighten up on the knob, on the nut, and you can throw these up and over. Now be mindful, these cables, the top cable is going to be the left cable on the demand sensor down here. It's the one with the red little thing on it. So left up here is top up here, and then right down there is down below, and that'll give you your push pull. And once you're happy with everything, you can kind of button everything up. I'm going to zip tie these later on, and then you could put on your grips. I have to get some soapy water. I definitely recommend soapy water. It's probably the easiest to get them on, and then you can slide them on. Where are they actually at? Yep. You can slide them on. Now, to take note, there are 2 different sizes. The one with the bigger hole is going to go on the throttle assembly itself, and the one with the little throttle is going to go, the little hole is going to go on the opposite side. So I'm going to go find some soapy water, and maybe we can get these put on tonight. Okay guys, and there you have it. Both grips are on the throttle side and on the left hand side. If you have an APRC model like I do, with the traction control button and to change the traction control, etc., you're going to have to do some modifications to the actual grip itself on the left side. So what I had to do is, if you can see over here, both grips come with this extra red. You're going to have to cut that off with a utility knife and trim out most of the red as much as you can on the inside of this too, to be able to get this on and up and over the actual unit itself as much as possible. And then on this side as well, you're going to have this as close as you can to the start stop, or what I might end up doing as well, what you can do as well, is cut this off right here, so you just slide it all the way up, and you kind of you'll be able to get your bar ends on. Because if you don't have enough room, slack between your grip and your bar end, your throttle's gonna stick. But that's about it, that's about it, guys. If you guys liked the video, if you guys want to see more content like this in the future, comment down below what you want to see next. I already have my next video kind of planned out on what we're going to do. Is we're probably going to remove the evap canister on this bike, because they tend to cause some problems. So stay tuned for that. But if you guys like the video, please comment, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up. Tell me what I could do differently, what you guys want to see next, and I appreciate it. But thanks for stopping by. Peace out, guys.